Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new explainer. We've got a wild one today, unpacking what is easily one of the most chaotic, tension-filled news cycles the tech and gaming industries have seen all year. Seriously, it's a massive update. We're talking heavy corporate news, a terrifying real-world security breach, and then, thankfully on the brighter side, some absolutely stellar hardware and software reveals. My goal here is to cut through all the noise, distill the facts, and figure out what this actually means for the industry and, for us as gamers and consumers. So grab an energy drink or your coffee because we've got a lot of fascinating ground to cover, and we're jumping right in.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with Xbox's massive strategy failure, then discuss the huge university cyber attack, break down Resident Evil's clever marketing, look at how Xenoblade shines on the Switch 2, and wrap up with the Switch 2's bold new exclusives. Let's get into it.
Section 1. Xbox's massive strategy failure.
Okay, let's dive right into this jarring math. Microsoft's gaming division is standing right on the edge of a massive structural shift. In a recent internal email, Xbox CEO Asha Sharma announced sweeping layoffs coming in July 2026, and she flat out called the company overextended. And honestly, the numbers back her up. Look at this, negative $500 million. That is the annual revenue decline Xbox has suffered over the last 5 years. It's literally like trying to fill a swimming pool while the drain is wide open. And the wildest part is that this decline is happening while Microsoft has poured over $20 billion into the platform. And just to be clear, that entirely excludes their massive $68 billion Activision Blizzard acquisition. They bought Bethesda, they pushed Game Pass hard, and yet they're still bleeding money. The current model just isn't working.
So how do they even reach this point? Well, it comes down to a strategy that's just full of contradictions. They push Game Pass, right? But subscriber growth completely stalled out. They teased going multi-platform and bringing games to PlayStation, but then shocked their own employees by abruptly canceling the Gears 5 PS5 port. They desperately wanted AAA exclusives, but massive titles like Redfall stumbled hard out of the gate. Because of this strategic whiplash, amazing studios are now on the chopping block. We're talking about incredibly talented teams at Arcane Austin, and unbelievably even Tango Gameworks, the studio behind the massively successful, critically acclaimed Hi-Fi Rush. Xbox is doing a hard pivot from being this champion of indie studios to a desperate search for quick profitability.
Which begs the ultimate question we've all been wondering. Is Game Pass actually the main culprit here? I mean, as gamers, we absolutely love it, right? It's an incredible deal. But is this beloved Netflix of gaming model actually failing as a sustainable business?
Let's run the numbers together, because it's fascinating. Making a single AAA game today costs anywhere from $150 to $300 million. Now, Xbox currently has roughly 25 million Game Pass subscribers, which brings in an estimated $3 to $4.5 billion in annual revenue. Sounds great. But remember Xbox's stated goal? They want to release roughly 10 AAA games a year. 10 games times those massive production budgets equals $1.5 to $3 billion in development costs alone. By the time you deduct operational costs, server upkeep, and global marketing campaigns, poof, that $4 billion in revenue basically evaporates. The net profit drops to virtually zero. The math just doesn't work out.
Section 2. The huge university cyber attack.
All right, if the corporate losses over at Xbox were bad, prepare yourself for a real-world security bombshell. A notorious hacking group known as Shiny Hunters has just successfully breached over 100 organizations, heavily targeting universities. To understand how this catastrophe even happened, we have to talk about Oracle PeopleSoft. So this is a legacy enterprise resource planning or ERP system dating all the way back to the 1990s. Organizations use it to manage HR, payroll, student affairs, you name it. The problem, it is incredibly old, highly unpatched, and mixed dangerously with modern cloud environments. Because universities typically have super tight cybersecurity budgets, they prioritize research over IT defense, they are relying on this ancient software. It's basically like putting a padlock made of cheese on a bank vault, making them prime targets for cybercriminals. And relying on that outdated software led to a complete disaster. The hackers didn't just grab a few usernames and passwords. Shiny Hunters walked away with the whole shebang. Social security numbers, passport details, bank information, salaries, and academic records. Nottingham University is already the first officially confirmed victim, and their data is actually already leaked on the dark web. What's genuinely terrifying here is the human cost. Millions of students and staff members are now deeply vulnerable to identity theft and financial fraud.
So if you are affiliated with any organization or university that uses Oracle PeopleSoft, you need to take these steps right now. Seriously, freeze your credit to block identity thieves in their tracks, change all your important passwords, especially for your bank and email. Enable multi-factor authentication everywhere and monitor your accounts like a hawk. It is a harsh reminder that no organization, no matter how prestigious or well-funded, is perfectly safe.
Section 3. Resident Evil's clever marketing.
Okay, let's take a collective breath. We are going to pivot away from real-world crises and step into the much more fun realm of digital creation. When that first trailer for Resident Evil Veronica dropped at Summer Game Fest, it broke the internet. It was shot entirely in first person, and longtime fans instantly panicked, thinking the franchise was completely abandoning its roots. But game producer Yoshiaki Hirabayashi quickly set the record straight. He stated definitively that it is a third-person game heavily focused on resource management and classic survival horror. That first trailer? It was just a deliberate artistic misdirect to put you right into the confused, terrified mindset of the main character, Claire.
In fact, when you compare the widely beloved Resident Evil 2 remake to the upcoming Veronica, the design philosophies line up perfectly. We're getting that amazing over-the-shoulder third-person camera, that super addictive resource management loop, and it's all running on a brand new, improved version of the RE engine. Story-wise, this picks up exactly 3 months after Claire escapes Raccoon City in RE2. It's quite literally the exact game fans have been begging for.
So why terrify the fan base to begin with? Because Capcom are absolute geniuses at modern marketing. Their formula is brilliant. False fear leads to reassurance, which converts into massive positive hype. By sparking this huge, fiery controversy on Twitter and Reddit about the camera angle, they got millions of people talking about Veronica who normally wouldn't even pay attention. Then they stepped in, reassured the hardcore fans, and instantly turned all that nervous, angry energy into sheer excitement. It is playing 4D chess, a total masterstroke.
Section 4. Xenoblade shines on Switch 2.
Let's keep this hype train rolling. Nintendo is bringing all 3 mainline Xenoblade Chronicles games to the Switch 2, and they are running at a gorgeous 4K resolution at 60 frames per second in TV mode. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is actually available right now. Following that, Xenoblade 2 drops on July 30th, 2026, and Xenoblade 3 rounds it out on December 3rd. For newcomers, they're priced at the standard $69.99 each.
But here is the kicker. The absolute most incredible part of this announcement is the price tag for returning players, $9.99. That's it. If you already own any of these games on your original Switch, you don't have to buy them again at full price. You simply pay a $10 upgrade fee to unlock the next-gen Switch 2 version. In an industry where publishers are constantly trying to charge us full price for basic remasters, this incredibly consumer-friendly move proves that Nintendo actually deeply respects fan loyalty.
And they aren't just giving us a lazy resolution bump either. These upgrade packs include actual new gameplay features. The Definitive Edition gets a brand new high-speed EtherJet vehicle for fast travel. Xenoblade 2 is finally giving players direct blade control, completely shaking up how the combat feels. And Xenoblade 3? It not only features vastly improved enemy AI, but it packs every single piece of DLC right onto the cartridge. It's an unbelievable value.
Section 5. Switch 2's bold new exclusives.
Now, the Switch 2 isn't just about polishing up the classics. Nintendo is aggressively pursuing some highly ambitious, brand new third-party exclusives, starting with Ninjala 2: The Uncharted Planet, coming in spring 2027. Now, the original Ninjala was a fun, but let's be honest, somewhat repetitive PvP multiplayer game. But for the sequel, Gung Ho Online Entertainment is engineering a massive genre shift. They are transforming it into a full open-world player versus environment experience featuring 4-player co-op and a really deep 2-part story saga. It's a huge, ambitious leap forward for the franchise. And then we have Orbitals, releasing on September 3rd, 2026. This one looks so cool. It's a retro anime-styled 2-player asymmetric co-op adventure. Think It Takes Two, but set in outer space with these beautiful Japanese anime cinematics. And the standout feature here is the new Switch 2 game share function. If you want to play online with your friend, only one of you actually needs to buy the game. It's brilliant, it's cooperative, and it shows that Nintendo is actively hunting down unique, creative indie concepts to lock in as console exclusives.
Which brings us to our final thought for today. Think about the massive contrast we've explored during this explainer. On one side, we have Microsoft and Xbox bleeding $500 million, canceling major projects, and laying off dedicated staff because they chased an unsustainable everything everywhere strategy. On the absolute other side, we have Nintendo, actively respecting their consumers with $10 upgrades and locking down highly creative, unique, exclusive games for their new hardware. So I leave you with this question. As the major publishers continue to scale back and consolidate, will Nintendo's laser focus on unique, curated exclusives become the ultimate winning strategy for the next decade of gaming? Let that marinate for a bit. Thanks so much for joining me for today's explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.